Today, I'm answering some of the most commonly asked questions about imposter syndrome. Stick around until the end where I'll share 3 tips to deal with imposter syndrome in the moment. And if it's something you are realizing you experience, I'll let you know how you can get in touch with me to work further in it. Hello. I'm Heather Jones. Welcome to my channel, your go-to source for empowering content designed to inspire, uplift, and support you on your journey. So let's dive into these questions. It makes sense to start with the basics, so here we go. What is imposter syndrome? Well, imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern where someone doubts their skills, talents, or accomplishments and has a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud or an imposter. So no matter how much external evidence exists around their competence, they feel internally like a fraud. What causes imposter syndrome? The truth is, it's not 100% clear. Some believe that imposter syndrome can be caused by a variety of factors that include perfectionism, family dynamics, one's childhood experiences. The most important thing isn't going to be where it came from, but knowing that you can overcome it. Who gets imposter syndrome? Anybody. Anyone can experience imposter syndrome, but there is an extremely high percentage of entrepreneurs who experience it. What are the symptoms of imposter syndrome? So some common symptoms include self-doubt, anxiety, fear of failure, the inability to accept praise or to claim accomplishments, over-preparing, procrastination. Those are a few of them. How can you overcome imposter syndrome? So in just a moment, I'm going to give you some tips to attend to it in the moment, but what it really depends upon is doing the deep inner work. It goes so far beyond the mindset and into who you believe you are as a person. So the process includes working at the identity level. Does imposter syndrome ever go away? Absolutely. That is when it's not ignored. So when we drop the fake it till you make it advice and dive into the process. How is imposter syndrome different from self-doubt? With self-doubt, you may be able to make some mindset shifts and get past it because at the core, you don't question whether you are the kind of person who can do it. Imposter syndrome causes you to believe you are not capable, no matter what the evidence shows in contrast. Can imposter syndrome be good? So occasionally you'll hear that self-doubt can motivate people to work harder and avoid complacency. Full-blown imposter syndrome is usually harmful. It's going to cause stress and burnout, which is essentially just the tip of the iceberg. What's lurking beneath is long-term harm. There are much more beneficial ways to find the motivation. So there you have answers to some of the most commonly asked questions about imposter syndrome. Now, at the beginning of the video, I promised you some tips, so let's get into those. These tips pertain to the inner critic that comes along with imposter syndrome. So the first tip is to accept that the thought happened. It does not serve you to fight the thought. This doesn't mean giving merit to it, but by accepting it, we can take away its power. So something simple like, okay, that thought happened. The next thing is to breathe. So if you've been following me for a while, you know this is one of my go-to power moves. Spend about 60 seconds taking deep belly breaths. That's the key. No shallow chest breaths here. And then lastly, choose a more empowering thought. So now this may be easier said than done. If you find that this comes to you well, that's amazing. If you find that it doesn't, that is okay. There are follow-on steps you can take, and then we can come back to this one. It's not uncommon to experience hurdles and blocks. It's important that you know that there's always something more that can be done. So in that case, please reach out to me or someone who is well-versed in dealing with imposter syndrome. So those are the 3 tips I have for you in dealing with imposter syndrome in the moment. Accept, breathe, and choose a more empowering thought. Now, if you would like to dive deeper into taming the inner critic, I have a resource to gift to you. In the description, you'll find a 3 things you can do to quiet the inner critic workbook. Now, if you're ready to take this a step further and deal with that imposter syndrome once and for all. Schedule a free consultation call, which is also linked in the description. If you found this video helpful, please click the subscribe button below and stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.